changed our purpose.
I reached out to a team called Nexus Mind to figure out what the hell was inside me. I found their contact buried in some comment thread, but in the end, I just called. Like it was a normal appointment. Like any of this is normal. They set up the scan, told me to come in. When I got there, they moved me into this room. Small, cold, too quiet. First thing they asked, "How did you get the implant?" I told them the truth. It happened at a rest stop. 3 guys came out of nowhere. My ex. She'd been talking about getting paid. I should have known. I laid down in the back seat, thought I could rest, thought I was safe. Then they came. 3 men, no names, just hands and syringes. I woke up with blood coming from my eyes, nose, ears. The nurse said I was lucky to be alive. Later, I started digging. I needed to know what was in me. They call it igaun, but the real name is e-gain, eutectic gallium indium, a metal that stays liquid at body temperature, highly conductive, flexible. The kind of thing you'd use to link a machine to a nervous system. When I stepped into Nexus Mind's recording room, the camera was already rolling. I told them everything, every detail, every scar. Then I signed the waiver, gave them permission to record. Because someone has to know. This isn't just my story anymore. I didn't ask for this, but now that it's inside me, I won't stay silent. You may enter the room now. She stepped aside, holding a thin folder of paperwork against her chest. Just stay close to me. As we passed down the hallway, I could see people seated in the lobby, some staring at the floor, others whispering. The air felt heavy. Is this common? Why are there so many people in the lobby? They are here for consultations. She didn't slow down, just kept walking. I was just wondering, it feels like a lot. I don't want to say anything yet. Not until the scans are complete. Not until we're completely sure. She glanced at me, not unkind, but guarded. We first need to confirm whether you actually have the implant. The door slid open, and inside, there was no turning back. I stood up, and they asked me to open my arms wide. They started with a basic spectrum scanner, nothing special. But the moment I stepped forward, the handheld spectrum analyzer went wild. The camera was pointed straight at the laptop, capturing every line of data, every anomaly. I will ask for that video later. But it wasn't just something I saw. I felt it. A sudden flash, dizziness, a deep uneasiness that crawled into my chest. I felt a pulsing sensation at the base of my skull, like a heartbeat that didn't belong to me. The room changed. The air felt different. Others felt it too. One of the team members looked at me, her hand instinctively moving to her eye. Wait, do you feel that? Another person spoke up. They felt it as well. Then the spectrum operator leaned over the screen, his voice flat. Yeah, that's right there. That spike. That's an attack. He signaled for the video crew immediately. And in that moment, I wasn't alone anymore. A room full of people who had been carrying this pain in silence, all experiencing the same thing at the same time. For so long, I endured these moments alone. Hours, days, years. But that night, we all felt it together. And somehow, that made it real. After the spike, the room went silent. They continued the scan as they turned me and marked spikes with the spectrum scanner. Not in fear, in focus. We need the NLJD. I learned the NLJD, the nonlinear junction detector, is used to detect hidden electronic components, microchips, circuits, transistors, even if they're turned off. It sends out a fundamental frequency and listens for harmonic returns. If it hears them, it means electronics are present, not biological, not natural, electronic. This wasn't a guess anymore. This was the definitive test. The specialist stepped behind me, slow. I felt the cold tip of the probe near the base of my skull, right where the pulsing had been. Right where it always was. We're getting some readings. Clear response. The device started reacting immediately, towards the tempo. They placed a sticker on both of my tempos where the frequency spiked, and in the nose area behind the nose. Another sticker was placed. Then, the strongest signal of all was in the brainstem. They put another sticker, labeled them alphabetically, for the results. Not weak, not fading. Strong, consistent, locked in. Yeah, this subject has them. They didn't even need to scan long. The signal didn't move. It didn't drift. It held in one exact spot. Deep tissue near the brainstem. The same place, the same pressure, the same pulse. This was no longer just sensation, no longer just feeling. The spike, the room reacting, the collective experience. And now, the NLJD response. It all lined up. Every piece, every moment, every reaction. Not speculation, not imagination. The devices are real, and I finally had definitive proof of their existence. After the team said they will send me the results via email and will coach me on the start of the removal process. After they marked the locations, my temples, my nasal area, and the strongest signal deep near the brainstem, the room finally started to breathe again. Whatever energy had filled that space, the spike, the tension, the shared unease, it began to fade, slowly, like a storm moving past the horizon. There was no cheering, no celebration, just silence and relief. One of the women from the team stepped forward. She handed me a small vial, a clear liquid. She called it Masterpiece. I looked at it, reading the label, then took it. Within minutes, the sharp pressure in my head began to ease. Not completely gone, but softened, like the edge of a blade being dulled. It was strange, a moment of scientific tension, followed by physical relief. Two worlds colliding inside one body. With the initial identification complete, the room returned to order. No rush, no chaos, just quiet efficiency. The same woman who gave me the liquid walked me toward the door. The floor felt lighter now. Or maybe I did. We'll be in contact. Just those words. They now had the data, the signal map, the NLJD readings, and the recorded spike. Everything they needed for analysis. The first stage was over. Whatever came next would happen later. But for now, the storm had passed. The relief didn't last long. The calm from the scan, from the results, from the room, it faded the moment I stepped outside. I was walking back to my car, still trying to process everything. The spike, the readings, the confirmation. My head felt heavier, like it was carrying too much truth at once. Then a Jeep drove past. Slow. Too slow. Inside, a woman, her hand raised, a phone, pointed at me. Then she sped away. A flash of movement, a quick angle change. She tried to hide it when she realized I was looking. But by then, it was too late. I had already seen her. I looked around the parking lot, scanning, faces, cars. They even followed me here. Was it coincidence or something else? Was it nothing? I didn't know, but the feeling hit hard. That safety I thought I had inside was already gone. Whatever this was, an experiment? Why are there so many involved? I didn't stay out there long. No hesitation, no delay. I got into my car, started the engine, and left. The drive home felt different, not relaxed, not normal. Every mirror felt alive. Every passing car felt closer. Every street felt longer than before. The team said they would contact me, and I held on to that. Because now, with everything that had happened, the spike, the scan, the encounter, it all felt like the story was only beginning.